The holographic display flickered in the dim command center as Elsa watched the Galaxy Council's latest decree materialize before her eyes. Her jaw clenched, knuckles whitening around the edge of the console. For 3 years humanity had bent. For 3 years they had compromised. But this was different. They've prohibited human expansion into the outer rim sectors, Zia said from behind her, his voice carefully neutral. As humanity's liaison to the Council, he'd learned to mask his emotions. But Elsa had known him since the academy. She could hear the tremor beneath his words. Prohibited, Elsa repeated, the word tasting like ash. They're not even pretending anymore, are they? First, they limited our military fleet size. Then they taxed our trade routes into oblivion. Now they're caging us in our own corner of the galaxy. The Council had always feared humanity. Ever since Earth's ships had breached the dimensional barrier and announced themselves to the galactic community, the elder races had watched with barely concealed anxiety. Humans bred too fast, adapted too quickly, and worst of all, they refused to know their place. Zia moved beside her, his reflection ghostly in the holographic light. The Vraxian ambassador said it was for our own protection, that we're too young a species to handle the dangers of... The dangers? Elsa's laugh was sharp enough to cut steel. We've fought off the Krelak swarms. We've negotiated peace with the Xanthir Collective when they said it was impossible. We've done everything they asked, and it's never enough. She pulled up the historical records, letting them cascade across the screen. Every concession humanity had made over the past 3 years painted a picture of systematic suppression. The Council hadn't welcomed humanity. They'd tried to defang them. There's something else, Zia said quietly. He hesitated, then transferred a classified file to her console. I wasn't supposed to see this, but the Council's been redirecting human colony applications. The worlds they've been assigning us? They're all resource poor, strategically worthless. Elsa's blood ran cold as she scanned the data. Zia was right. Every colony approved for human settlement was a dead-end world, while the Vraxians, the Septimians, and the other elder races claimed the garden planets and mineral-rich systems. Humanity was being relegated to the galaxy's refuse. They're not just limiting us, she breathed. They're trying to ensure we stay weak forever. The realization hung between them like a live wire. Humanity had played by the Council's rules, had swallowed their pride, had bent over backward to prove they deserved a seat at the table. And the Council had responded by sawing the legs off that seat. What are you going to do? Zia asked, though the look in his eyes suggested he already knew. Elsa straightened, her decision crystallizing with perfect clarity. She opened a secure channel, one that bypassed all Council monitoring systems. The human fleet admirals appeared one by one on her screen, their faces grim but determined. Ladies and gentlemen, Elsa began, her voice steady as a blade. For 3 years we've been the galaxy's whipping boy. We've accepted restrictions no other species would tolerate. We've made ourselves small and unthreatening, hoping they'd see us as equals. She paused, letting her words sink in. They never will. Admiral Chen spoke first. What are you proposing, Commander? I'm proposing we stop asking for permission. Elsa pulled up a star map, highlighting 24 systems in the outer rim, worlds the Council had marked as off-limits. These systems are unclaimed. No species has colonies there. No settlements, no territorial markers. The Council restricted them purely to keep us contained. If we move on those systems, it's an act of war, another admiral warned. No, Zia interjected, stepping into the camera's view. It's not. I've reviewed the Council's founding charter. Expansion into unclaimed space is a guaranteed right of all member species. The Council's decree is actually illegal under their own laws. They're counting on humanity not knowing that. Elsa smiled coldly. Then let's educate them. Within hours, the plan was set in motion. Human colony ships held in reserve for years powered up their engines. Military escorts fell into formation around them. It wasn't an invasion force, it was a migration fleet, exercising rights that every other species took for granted. When the fleet crossed into the outer rim, the Council's response was immediate and predictable. Threats poured through communication channels. The Vraxian ambassador personally contacted Elsa, his multiple eyes blazing with fury. You have violated Council decree. Withdraw immediately or face sanctions. Elsa met his gaze without flinching. We've violated nothing, Ambassador. These systems are unclaimed. We're exercising our rights as a Council member species. Unless you'd like to explain to the entire galaxy why you're enforcing illegal restrictions, specifically targeting humanity. The ambassador's face twisted. He knew she had him. If the Council moved against humanity now, it would expose their discrimination. Other younger species, also quietly oppressed, would see the truth. You don't understand what you've done, the ambassador hissed. We were protecting you. Humanity isn't ready for what? Elsa cut him off. For independence? For equality? You're right, Ambassador. We weren't ready for subjugation. For being second-class citizens in a galaxy we've earned our place in. She leaned forward, her eyes blazing. But here's what you don't understand about humanity. We don't stay down. You can push us, restrict us, belittle us. But eventually we push back. And when we do? She smiled, cold and fierce. We don't stop. The transmission ended. Behind Elsa, Zia exhaled slowly. That's it then. No going back. No going back, Elsa agreed. She watched as the colony ships began their descent toward the first outer rim world, a beautiful planet with azure oceans and green continents. A planet that would have been denied to humanity forever. Not anymore. The Galaxy Council had drawn a line, thinking humanity would never dare cross it. They'd forgotten the most important lesson about humans, the one that had carried them from caves to the stars. Tell humanity they can't do something, and they'll find a way. Try to cage them and they'll break the bars. The Council had crossed a boundary, and humanity had finally snapped. But they hadn't broken. They'd simply stopped pretending to be anything less than what they were. Survivors, explorers, and the galaxy's newest power, whether the old guard liked it or not. The age of human appeasement was over. A new era had begun,